We ready, Yeti?
Sweet Yeti.
Hey there, everybody. This is Coon Prairie Ramblers here. Segment 3.
Back again.
KC and the Moonshine Gang, the amiable, affable Mel Jackson, and Luke, the rebel without a clue.
Yabba dabba do. And the last behind the glass. Miss Yada da Ka.
Y'all remember
Yeah.
when you were younger, yesteryear, and things were so much simpler.
And better.
And the toys that we used
was a long time
were
ago.
just simple, and we entertained ourselves so much. Do you remember
Sure did.
flying kites, flying paper airplanes,
Amen.
or
Boy.
those little store-bought at the 5 and dime balsa airplanes? Some of them had no propeller, but some of the bigger ones had a
propeller.
wind-up. Do you remember
With
that?
a
Did
rubber
you ever?
band.
Yeah.
Did you ever do it?
Some had little wheels on the bottom. too,
Yeah, you
on
could
the-
land them.
You ever
That's
put like penny weights, they to make them do certain tricks or weight them certain ways or,
Mine crashed a lot.
Yeah.
You bought them in like a package. It was a flat package of plastic, and you tore the end off, and you poured all the pieces out, and you assembled the little balsa wood airplane.
If you wasn't careful,
Cost
you
about
could
a
break the
dime.
wings off one.
Well, I know. It's
Just trying to open it up.
like trying to make something out of a saltine cracker that was only about half as thin as they are. I mean, or a third.
Yeah,
as
they
thin.
were brittle.
Very brittle.
And light.
Yeah.
It wasn't
that.
real good on windy days. But let me just tell you one story, and then y'all tell me what you got. We were down at Nocatee at the
Good old Nocatee.
playgrounds out there. What a playground, just a big old
Next to
open
the
area
schoolhouse.
next to the school. We were out there one day, and a kid was just flying his paper airplane,
Oh yeah,
and a dust devil come along
snatched it up.
and caught that paper airplane,
Oh boy.
and it started going in spirals.
Man. He
And it was
couldn't
the
have wished
first
for
thing I
anything
know,
but,
it was up hundreds of feet in the air,
yeah.
and
Couldn't
it
even
moved
see it.
on.
Who
We
knows?
never.
Wow.
It might still be up there somewhere.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, that was crazy.
Catching a wave and right
never-
on the top of the
and
world.
it wasn't intentional. It wasn't like he saw the dust devil and threw it at it.
Yeah.
It just, I mean, the
Oh,
timing
yeah,
was
you never knew
perfect.
when one of those was going to pop up.
Yeah, and it was just,
That was amazing.
so
Yeah.
that's my story of it.
I had a cousin Bob.
Cousin Bob.
What
What about Bob?
He was the son of my great aunt Agony,
Oh boy.
and cousin Bob was good at making. He made balsa wood airplanes, but he made big planes.
You mean he made them himself? I mean, like out of scratch?
Where do you buy
used
balsa?
wood. I think you buy the kit or something. But anyway,
Oh, yeah,
and
we
he would
bought-
have the skin on them. The paper skin. I mean, big thing. He put a whole lot of work into this one thing. It looked like a big bomber or something. It was back in the 50s. He took it out and got on top of he stood up on the trunk of his 46 Chevy Deluxe, and all those boys were gathered around. My brother and my other cousin, and we're going to watch this thing because he put a whole bunch of work into it. He took it and he threw it, and the thing crashed in the ground and disintegrated.
After all
Did it
that.
have a
After all
proper,
that.
it was just good by.
It was. I guess it was just glide. It was going to glide. It didn't have a prop to my memory.
Yeah, there's an art to making paper airplanes.
Oh,
too.
yeah,
We did it
really?
in school.
He put all that work in there.
Made them real thin and skinny, and you could sail them a long ways. Or
Yeah.
you
And
had
you-
them short ones that you could do things to make them do flips.
Right. And you would make some of them, like you said, that were long and skinny, and they were more for speed.
Exactly.
And then you'd make the ones that did the flips, and some of them would actually fly higher or further or whatever. You could really just kind of.
Oh, yeah.
It was in a toss.
We would decorate
If you
them, we'd draw
tossed them,
stuff on them.
sometimes if you tried to toss them too hard, it just screwed them up.
Yeah. Get that front end bent if it hits the ground a few times.
And you ever bend the tips up?
That's it. I have. Look like one of them SSTs going through the air. You ever make a homemade kite?
Yeah.
With
Well, I tell you what
sticks
we
and
used to do.
Newspaper?
I started flying kites when I was a kid in Opelika.
Opelika.
And it had a lot of empty lots down there, and we would go, and that was just something we did a lot of. And if you ever broke your kite, you flew it into a tree or something, we would always salvage what we could out of that broken kite.
Oh, yeah.
So once you got the cross sticks, a matching cross stick for one, we would take a newspaper
Yep.
and glue and kite string and make our own kite.
That's exactly
And
right.
they would fly great.
Put a tail on them out of rags.
Yeah, and you had to get the weight just right. Because too heavy and you couldn't get it to fly, and too light and it'd,
Spinning all over the place. up there.
Too heavy of the tail.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was my problem. I would get too wrapped up in making a deluxe tail with the rags, and it was fun to make, and they get so big, my kite wouldn't fly.
watch out for them big bottom kites.
my
Make
kite,
a rock and world go round.
it lacked altitude. I think, man, what's wrong with that
We
thing?
get them up real so high you couldn't hardly see the things, and we put pieces of paper on the string and get it started, and the paper would work its way up the string.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Somehow,
sometimes you put messages on those strings.
yeah, and then it would go right on up the string. Or them little dime store paratroopers.
Yeah.
Hang on there,
yeah.
and they would go up there a ways, and eventually they'd fall off, and the little parachute would open, and they come
And you die.
floating down. That was a lot of fun
Yeah.
back then, but you had to stay away from. high
And
wires
then
stuff.
on occasion you would lose. You get to the end of the string and lose it, and
You didn't have it tied to
and
the-
have to go
the
chase it
stick
across.
or the spool.
I've actually
There
had
goes the
them
kite.
so far out and so much pull and
Yeah.
weight that the kite string broke.
Oh yeah.
But I've seen them where they would go hundreds of yards with a bow in it, and then they'd start coming up to the kite.
I mean,
Wow.
you could get them so far up there you could hardly see them, and it'd take you forever to reel it back in. And there's sometimes where we just said, forget this. We just cut the string and let it
Yeah.
go.
I know I've had them at least a quarter of a mile away from me, at least that far away.
Wow.
Plus
Yeah.
the height of it. So
Yeah.
I don't know how many feet that was, but I mean, you'd keep on tying on extra rolls of string, and I think most of them were like 300 feet. For some reason I want to say the rolls were 300 feet.
Wow.
And then you'd tie another one on there and another one on there.
Keep it going.
And we'd make our own reels out of soup cans or some sort of big cans to wrap
That's right. Or
lines
just
around.
stick, but I never could figure out how box kites flew and stayed in the air. Remember them ones? They were square.
I had them.
And I don't know how. I don't know what kept them aloft.
No, it didn't seem. It seemed to defy
That's exactly right. It
logical
was bizarre.
thoughts of how something should
I
fly.
never had a box kite, but I admired them.
Have you seen any of the kites they have nowadays?
I didn't know they still had them.
Oh gosh, they're amazing. I mean, they have them with two strings, and people can do all kind of.
And they're
Tricks,
people and
stunts.
they're animals and superheroes and things
Yeah.
like that.
I saw this guy recently.
Tinkerbell.
I used to have one, and but some of them are like, I mean, hundreds of dollars. But
Wow.
I saw a guy the other day down in this open field in Punta Gorda, and he had put his kite way down away from him, and then started rolling out the cable or the strings, and then he just barely pull on it.
And there it was.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it doesn't take anything to launch one.
We used to have to get a running start, be running
Yeah.
with them things before they'd ever go up.
And then once you got up to a certain height, the thermals
Mm-hmm.
changed, and you get some wind where there wasn't even any wind on the ground, and you get them up there, and it
I should do that with my
I would like
grandson
that.
Charlie. He don't know anything about kites.
really that would be fun. I'd
Yeah.
like
To
to
do
sit there
that
and
with
watch.
him.
I've done it with all my great. Well, not the latest batch, but we've flown with most all of them. But I like that sound too. That little
Flutter.
fluttering in the breeze.
I think the most fun part is just to play. You're in the yard, you take off with it, and it goes up, and then you stop, and it comes down, and take off again. It just goes up. Just playing around.
You're
Just
teasing it.
But a lot of times
Yeah.
you can just once you get to a certain height, you can sometimes just use your arm to get it,
Make it
keep
dance
going
up
up.
there.
yeah.
Spin
And then
around
sometimes the wind would catch it to where it would just go. It'd be erratic and like it's going to go out of control or something.
It looked cool because the tail was following it.
Yeah.
Did you ever have a box kite?
No, I never did, and I can never figure out how they flew. Well, it was just
I had box kites, but I never questioned how they did it. They just did it.
Well, did you ever recently go to
Uno momento.
like Walmart or Dollar General or anywhere to see if they have kites?
I think
I
I
bet
bought
you did.
my
I think
grandson Nathan one about 5 years ago, or
It-
10 years ago.
In Walmart or something?
Yeah.
I bet you Dollar General got them.
Well, speaking of kites, we've had to fly on out of here, you all.
Yeah, and hey, we got a nice field out here. Fly.
Yeah.
We'll try it.
We can
All
get
right.
that thing caught up in there.
We'll reel y'all
Yeah.
back in a minute. Y'all sit tight. We'll be back shortly.